Well, United supporting Mason Greenwood's return, and obviously this has been brought to you by a correspondent of United for the Telegraph known as James Daka. Welcome to United Matters channel. How are you guys? And where you're watching us from, I go by the names of Rock and David. Smash the like button, comment and share. If you're really watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. It's always a very happy time to speak to the subscribers and the new subscribers of this channel, and those viewing in who are non-subscribers. Thank you for always keeping it United Matters channel. And this is Rock and David, and you're bringing you stories coming in from a very credible source, from Fabrizio Romano, dropping a hint onto the new stance of Man United onto the transfer of Mason Mount after the third bid that United submitted in on Friday. He was really rejected in the night. And lastly, Eric Bay and Alex Telles have been confirmed as must-leaves for Manchester United this summer, as Erik ten Hag doesn't have them in his plans of 2023-2024 season. Let's see close to 300 likes. Smash this video. Don't forget to subscribe so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Let's start up with Telegraph Docker talking about the photos that leaked from the Sun as Mason Greenwood was really training. He told us that pictures published by the Sun showed Mason Greenwood undergoing a private training session at a private sports center. Man United are understood to be supportive of him training in such a capacity to keep himself physically and mentally healthy. That is, James Docker is a United correspondent for the Telegraph. And what photo are they talking about? I think I showed you these photos. I think, was it on Friday morning? I did that story, but if at all you didn't watch that story, let me show you the photos they're really talking about. That is Mason Greenwood trying to train in a private sports center that he pays £85 per hour. You know, per 90 minutes. Per 90 minutes he pays £85. That is Mason Greenwood for you. And he was really training to it that he finds himself back to the levels that he's supposed to be on as a player of Man United. This is a lot of positivity that he's having support from the club of Man United, because most people thought that maybe the club had gone ahead to abandon the player 100%. And I understand that they've been paying his salaries for a very long time, ever since January of 2022. Sorry about that. Ever since January of 2022, Man United have gone again to be paying salaries of Mason Mount, and this has really gone ahead to really let me, or put me in the mood that maybe there is something positive coming out of this, and United want to see their player back to shape. And there is one thing you've not yet noticed about Mason Greenwood that can act as a catalyst for his return at Man United. One, the Glazers are willing to call in for a fourth bid, and if at all they call in for a fourth bid, that means the takeover of United might be announced in September, when the transfer window is done and dusted. At the look of things, the Glazers look like they don't want to spend a lot of money, and they don't even have it onto new comings, especially the centre forward position, as Erik ten Hag made it the priority of his summer transfer window. So, with Greenwood available as a player who plays as a centre forward, I really anticipate that the Glazers might go in and say, all right, get in one centre forward and get back Greenwood onto the field of play to see it that he plays for the team of Man United. That is it. So, as it stands, it might really lean that way, you know, because when you look at the budget of Man United, it's supposed to be boosted by the sales that Erik ten Hag is supposed to make. But have we sold any player? We've only sold one, Zidane Ikbo, for €1 million to Utrecht in Netherlands. Now, the big fish that can be sold and obviously raise more money at the club of Man United have not been tackled or been touched. For example, Harry Maguire, he's the player that can get in close to 30 or 40 million pounds for Man United. Scott McTominay, he can get in close to 30 million pounds. Fred, close to 25 or 30 million pounds. You know, only those three players, you sell them, you can be having like 100 million pounds. Add on Dean Henderson, 25 million pounds or 30, that is 130 million pounds for the club of Man United. So I really understand that we are having loose ends, when it comes to signing in players and when it comes to really selling in these players. So where does that leave us? It leaves us in the situation of what we call discombobulation, or being confused, as no one is really sure of the future of those players that United want out, and minus them being sold early enough, that will call in for a lot of for a lot of loopholes in the team of Erik ten Hag, and that might anticipate or act as a catalyst for the return of Mason Greenwood to come in through and obviously do the needful. Remember, we are playing our first game of the preseason, I think on the 12th of July, and today is 25th, 19 days from now. So, with how slow-paced, the team of United is, do you anticipate that Ten Hag is going to be having a centre-forward signed, by the time we play our first preseason game against, is it Lyon? No way, we are going to find ourselves doing that. So it finds me in a situation of really reading between the lines that they might bring in Mason Greenwood and we tell Erik ten Hag, let's deal with him because he's the only one we've got, as we plan to go ahead and obviously do the needful. And the most worrying bit is, if Harry Kane shows positive signs of joining Man United, then we won't find ourselves signing a striker up until when we get in Harry Kane, because he's English and Richard Arnold was so much positive and sounding to the board that he wants to sign Harry Kane as the marquee signing of Man United, and Erik ten Hag has been responsive onto that. So Telegraph Docker, that is James Docker, also said the decision on Mason Greenwood's future is unrelated to the takeover process, and the decision will be made regardless of the outcome of the strategic review announced in November by the Glazers family. Now, we all thought that maybe after the Champions League, after the FA Cup finale that saw us lose it to Man City by 2-1, we anticipated that if they don't make the announcement of the takeover of Man United at the beginning of of the new week, that was on the 5th of June, they will either let us know the situation of the takeover of Man United, but they have not yet communicated any of those, and that is going to have to leave most of us into we are left into doubt on what this is all about. But close sources to Man United have gone ahead and told James Docker that what is delaying the decision of Mason Greenwood is not all about the takeover, because it's in the hands of the Glazers and Richard Arnold. So we anticipate that maybe very soon a story concerning Mason Greenwood is going to be put out, because these photos have not been put out coincidentally. They know that very soon they're breaking a story of Mason Greenwood, and they're throwing what we call stones to the bush to lure the snakes out of their bushes. I want to see what the public court is really thinking, and obviously see the emotions of the fans of United, and obviously get out the big news that they've always gone ahead to hide from us on whether they're retaining him or not. But according to the situation at Man United of us not having a centre forward, I see that Ten Hag might be given Greenwood, and Ten Hag has gone ahead to show lots of positivity on loving the player as Mason Greenwood. Then Fabrizio Romano has gone ahead and issued a statement about the deal of Mason Mount, having put in a third bid and it got rejected. Jason Butt from the Telegraph came out and confirmed to us, is it from the Telegraph Times, that United are out of the deal of Mason Mount and they're not willing to offer more. Now Fabrizio told us that, understand Man United have not left the negotiations for Mason Mount, as £55 million bid still valid on the table, but not accepting Chelsea's 65 counter offer. Door remains open, but United will not wait forever, believing £55 million bid is fair. So all I understand is that United have gone ahead and leave the bid there and told them that, all right, if you think well about that, you'll contact us and obviously come back to us. And that's what I want to see United do, because if you don't do like that, then you are going to be taken for granted. And we've seen ourselves in several occasions losing out onto signings because of us wanting to please the signings. We've paid a lot of money for certain signings because we are so much trying to get those players at the club of Man United, like Harry Maguire, £80 million. You know, it's after Erik ten Hag has gone ahead to coming through that Aaron Wan-Bissaka reflects the real amount of money that we bought him from Crystal Palace, because United bought him for £50 million. But by the time he was here with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he was nowhere close to that amount of money. But Ten Hag has gone ahead to elevate and improve him in different aspects of his life, and is really a different kind of player altogether. Now, going at Mason Mount, even putting in £5 million as add-ons on the £50 million guarantee fee, to me, I see it as a joke. Mount is a very good player, but he doesn't match the quality that we deserve at Man United, you know. That's why in the morning I've gone ahead to do a video, and I've gone ahead to call on players like Moise Caicedo to come in at Man United. I'd rather have a Caicedo than a Mount. Do you know why? When you have a Caicedo with you, you are safe even if Casemiro is injured. But when you're having Mason Mount, you are exposed into a situation of not having a backup for Casemiro. But if it's Casemiro, if at all it's Caicedo, he can play in the double pivot with Casemiro or with anyone else, and they can easily exchange their roles with Casemiro when they're playing, because Casemiro is better going forward, and maybe will tell Caicedo sit into that single pivot or defensive pivot and allow me go ahead into the final third of the pitch to really create lots of chances for the club of Man United. That's what he's bringing on the field of play. So let's wait and see, because I believe either today or on Monday there's going to be a very big update as far as the Mason Mount deal is concerned. It's so much one of those that Erik ten Hag is badly wanting to do, but the board looks like they are betraying the manager on what he's supposed to be doing at the levels of Manchester United. So leaving that at that, we go to the must sells that have been confirmed to us by Samuel Lucas, another fly on the walls of Manchester for the Evening News. He has told us the following: that Eric Bailly and Alex Telles are regarded as the must sells by United this summer, and I think the must sells are really huge. That's it. If at all you're talking about players that have been away on loan and they are must sells, I think they really tick those boxes. But if you're talking about must sells this season, I think we are having a huge list of must sells, because if you have to really break it down, the list of must sells, we are having many of those. For example, there is Donny van de Beek, there is Brandon Williams, Harry Maguire, Scott McTominay, Fred Rodriguez. You know, there is a long list. There is Anthony Elanga. He's a must sell that United should do to get in more money to facilitate their transfer window. But for Eric Bailly, he's having interests from Rio Betis and is it Galatasaray, right? And I think it's Fenerbahce. And for Alex Telles, FC Porto is interested in him, and one side from Turkey is really having huge interest into the player. So as it stands, they're up for sale, but even if we sell both of them together, their sales cannot amount to £10 million, because for Eric Bailly, £2 or £3 million, and for Telles it can be 2 or 3, meaning that we can get like £6 million from them, and we're exempting ourselves from a very huge salary they've been getting. Like Bailly, £140,000 a week. For Telles, it's like £87,000 a week that is earning at Man United. So guys, your thoughts on to Manchester United supporting Greenwood's return are welcome in the comment section below. What do you make about Mason Mount's deal not yet off? The bid is still on the table, and United has left it for Chelsea to ponder about it. And lastly, Eric Bailly and Alex Telles, do they deserve a second chance at United, or we should sell them completely? Sign out for now. See you later, and I cover you all in the precious blood of Jesus Christ. I'm out. Ciao, ciao, you, the viewers of United Matters channel.